Yeah, look at that. The newest Christmas song.
Oh, man.
John, man.
So that was Oh Santa? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's a good one, right? That's a good one.
That was dope. I like that. Thank you for the suggestion. I downloaded it so we can listen to it another time. Let me get plugged in here. Hello, everyone. It's day 2 of 12 Days of Recruiting. Yes. Thank you for coming with us today. We have a very special guest, Mr. John Baldino, straight from the office in Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Jersey, give it up.
So for those of you who don't know, John is the 2020 HR Consultant of the Year. Let's give him
right.
Raw voted out.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Excuse me. Pretty
That's
good.
all choked up for that one.
You did. Cheers. Pretty good for a guy from South Philly.
Right.
Who moved to South Jersey.
Right.
So John is a good friend. Adore him. He's hilarious. He's awesome. And he's going to have some great nuggets for you guys here today. So John, introduce yourself to the folks today.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here with both of you. Yeah, it's nice to be a Philly kid who made good, right? Heck yeah. Right. So I'm John Baldino. I run an organization called Humoriso, which is a global HR consulting firm. And I do that here in the Philly area. And been in HR just about 30 years.
Really?
Wow. Yeah. Time flies.
Your whole life.
My whole life feels like leadership development and, HR strategy, executive coaching, and of course, all the blocking and tackling stuff for HR, but been a long time. It's good stuff.
You're also very active in Tri-State SHRM as well. That's actually how I got connected to you, through some folks in other regions. When I was, first had been laid off from my job. So shout out to you for that, because John was one of those folks, one of the people who didn't even know me, but reached out to me. How can I help? And wasn't just saying that to say it. Like, he literally said, did not know me personally, hadn't met me yet, but reached out. How can I help you? And he's been like that ever since. Got me hooked up with some folks in Tri-State HR. I used to see him every November. Unfortunately, we missed it this year when the SHRM Council will come for their leadership conference in November. We would hang out. Yeah, they embraced me, let me hang out, even though I wasn't one of them. But I'm pretty sure John had instructions, either you or Tiffany, to make sure that I didn't get out of hand.
Oh, no. I mean, are you kidding me? No. Yeah, no. I mean, it's funny that you say that, because it has been such obviously a different year, and the camaraderie piece has changed a ton for HR folks, and so we've looked at the conferences that we attend throughout the year, and SHRM, yes, but other things as well, and being able to sort of catch up with people, it all went away. And so I think it's really been an interesting year to sort of maintain relationships like this, right? We've had to be a lot more intentional and thoughtful about it, and we're seeing those folks that have done so, they've kind of risen to the top, right? Kind of because they're on top of mind for everybody, and
right.
Both HR and TA folks, we've had to be a lot more intentional.
We definitely have. How have you, other than, like I said, some of the stuff that you just mentioned, how have you pivoted? Because I know that you also have a few recruiters that work with you as well. Yeah. Some of my good friends. So, if you can share that.
Yes, some of your good friends. Cigarette, drink, here we go, right? So, shade time. No, kid. I mean, I think obviously at the onset, of the pandemic. So, in the middle of Q1, it felt like the world, imploded, right?
Yeah.
We knew it was happening, but then all of a sudden it was like go time. Everything shut down. You're looking at industries that struggled, of course, to make that quick pivot to something that's virtually based, mobile based, right? From what it was. And so for us, we really partnered with a lot of organizations to help them come up to speed quick. There wasn't much time for you to sort of sit back and let me have 12 meetings to decide bureaucratically how we're going to do this. You can do that. You won't be around. So let me just give you your options. Either be quick or, meeting yourself to death, literally.
Or be out. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you don't want your company to die. So you needed to pivot quickly. And I will say to you, our organization is fortunate enough that we work with companies of all different sizes across the country in different industries. And I can't say that just because an organization was small, right? So 50, 75, 100, 150 employees, that they were also great to manage the change just because they were small. It really has to do with mindset, right, as well. And so you have folks who still were battling with, well, this job cannot be done remotely. Okay. It needs to be. So now what?
Exactly.
Right? So now what? So you sit there all day long with your job description and tell me it's 10%, work from home. You didn't get that choice, right? So as this pandemic swept in, people really had to sort of come to Jesus to figure out what do we really care about and why. And sitting where we are now, right, just about at the end of the year, thankfully, Humoriso has done really well, right? It's been a great year for us.
Yeah.
And on the recruiting end of things, we're watching organizations be thoughtful in two ways. One, wow, we get to have a talent pool that's not just within 30 miles of where the main office is, right? We're willing to go way out because we've proven we can do this virtually, right? Remotely. And now I'm in Philly and I can have somebody in Chicago, or I'm in LA and I'm hiring somebody from Austin, Texas, and nobody has to move. And that's really cool. The other piece that's really been hit home this year, and I think in addition to the pandemic, has been a consideration around diversity. And we've talked about this online and through conferences we've gone to, and our buddy Sarah Morgan, and so much stuff out there. And organizations saying, hi, I have 50,000 employees and we don't know how to hire for diversity. We don't. The fact that they're willing to raise their hand, we have seen that more this year. And that's been a huge blessing, obviously, as an organization, right, from a business standpoint, but it's been a blessing from a conversational standpoint. Good for you. Raise your hand and say, I suck at this. And can somebody help me? Right?
I think for me, and I know we've had pieces of this conversation around diversity, but I can say this again, that, I pulled back because I found myself as a consultant as well, being called upon specifically to address people's diversity issues. And, I was like, I got to the point where it was like, no, no, because number one, you're not really serious. You just want to say that you addressed it. You just want to say that you put this line item, that you check the box and says, oh, we had someone come in and do a training. Right. We had someone create a staffing plan for where people are and what where we should be looking for diverse talent and what does diversity mean? And I was just, it became an emotional labor. It became extremely taxing. Like I was tired of sharing can you be on this webinar? We want to talk about what it's like to be Black and work in corporate America. Can you be on this webinar? We want to talk to women. We want to talk to women entrepreneurs. Like it was always something, a part in my demographic that, was allegedly, different than what you did. And I'm like, you have people in your own organizations that have these same experiences as I do. And I'm not saying that they should be laboring for you either, but look within first before you go out, and stop having me relive traumatic things, things that hurt, things that pushed me out, frankly, pushed me out of corporate America for possibly good, stop having me relive those. Let's talk about the things that were good. Let's talk about the things that I was able to overcome. And anytime I got pushback on those things, I knew that was not that I had made the right decision, that wasn't for me. And it's not enough to put 4 Black women on a panel, or, to cherry pick, and I promise you, I found myself doing that, when I did the ebook, I'm looking for 10 people, and I reached out to some folks, and I'm like, do I not know any white people? I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like, what have you done? I was like, I conditioned myself to amplify a voice. And again, all of these things are necessary, but I think we just take things to the point where we're not even being effective anymore. We're just doing things for the sake of representation and saying that we did them. So how can you overcome something like that?
Well, I was just going to say, that's a recipe for failure, right? So even in the conversations I've had with these organizations this year, my staff as well, the team as well, great. You're calling because we can help with diversity recruiting. First of all, what does that mean to you? Let's define that. And by the way, you're in a safe room, so don't try to be pretty, is what I say. Don't be pretty with me and say, we see the pain of Black Lives Matter and X, Y, and Z. First of all, Black Lives Matter, that's been around for a long time. The struggle for equity, don't talk to me about equality, right? The struggle for equity is real, and it's been something that's at the forefront for a long time. Now, your store was looted, and now you're frustrated, and now you feel like you need to do something for that socially responsible. I can't answer for that for you. But what I can say to you is, if you're looking at this from an organizational design standpoint, what does diversity hiring mean for you? Because I am certain that I can look through the roles of your onboarding and offboarding and see people who have diverse backgrounds who are not there anymore. So why didn't it work? What was wrong with whatever it is, right? And so even in the example that I was sharing a little bit ago with, an organization with tens of thousands of employees that came to us, honestly, I was on the Zoom call, I think, with half a dozen leadership folks from that organization, and they were sharing the struggle. And so I said, well, I took control of the virtual part of the meeting and shared to their website. I hadn't done any homework yet. I just went straight to the website and went to careers and and they had a blip right at the top of their careers page about their commitment to diversity. And then the pictures underneath were white people. Now, I have been in their locations, and I see a whole bunch of people that aren't white, some white, but a lot of different, backgrounds, visible diversity. Right. And I said, how come none of those people made their way to your website? You want me to believe this sentence, but underneath it, it doesn't look the same. And it was silent right on the call. It was like, yeah, I guess we never really thought about that. Now, I'm not that smart. You mean to tell me you've got 50,000 employees and nobody thought about this before, right? But truth be told, you sometimes need that other set of eyes. So the approach, I think, for organizations is be willing to have the critique. I'm not saying criticism. And thankfully, I know my way is not necessarily the way that everybody has to do things. What we're talking about here is not necessarily prescriptive, do everything exactly as John says, but rather know where you fit, know the audience that you have, and how you can effectively communicate to those folks, each person along the chain, and challenge the constructs. Job descriptions are a great place to start if you're afraid. Look at the job description to start with. when you want to do diversity hiring and you're looking for someone with 12 to 15 years of experience, let me ask you a question. 12 to 15 years ago, would a Black person have had that job? Ask that question. If the answer is no, then a Black person will never fit the criteria you have listed on the job description. So you can diversity hiring wish all day long, but you're setting yourself up for it's sabotage to the whole process, right? So, and I ask those questions. What difference is there between 10 years and 12 years? Go. What difference is there between 8 years and 10 years? Go. You have to answer that for me. You have to answer that. If you don't know, then how do you expect a recruiter to know?
My biggest pet peeve, you just talked about the years experience. My biggest pet peeve on job descriptions, which most things are not even job descriptions, they're the compensation. They're the compensation description of what that type of person, the baseline skills a person's supposed to have, and they just copy and paste it and put it on the internet.
Exactly.
But I hate when they're like minimum 10 to 12 years. I'm like, that is no such thing. Like, if you have a range, please, like, why do you have minimum in your, like,
I just don't, and again,
I hate that.
So where do you start, right? If you are someone who is just finding your way and you are in human resources, you're in talent acquisition, and you're not sure where your voice will be heard yet, test the waters with the job description. The reason I say that is because it's an independent document. You didn't necessarily create it, but you can respond to it in the conversations you have with the hiring managers and or leadership level, depending upon who's in the room, to ask the good questions that are based upon something that isn't about your opinion. Right. I'm working this off of this document. Once you kind of have some of those wins under your belt, you're going to find your voice in that, and you're going to be able to have more core conversation with people around, okay, so what's the ultimate goal? Where do we really want to get to as a result of all of this activity that we have going on?
Right. I'm going to turn it over to my bestie in the sharp red and white.
Call me Disco Dan today, right?
That is a jacket, sir. That is a jacket.
There's more to come. Wait till you see next show. There's more flash coming out. But I gotta tell you, John, right, real quick. I'm from Pittsburgh, buddies. So we are the city of champions, just to let you know, in Pennsylvania. So
didn't you guys lose yesterday to a football team that doesn't even have a name?
I knew it. I knew it was going to come out there.
I mean, I don't want to say
I don't watch football, but according to the internet, I mean, something happened yesterday.
Wow. There's one thing I'm going to praise John on. The lava lamp behind you, brother. I love the lava lamp, man. I gotta tell you, it's
I turn it on every so often. It reminds me of a time gone by. I mean, a time way gone by, but yes, brings me centers me.
And what I want to know is, John, you have a great year with your company. If you can give anybody out there some tips or techniques, what did you do a little bit different since we've been in this, pandemic and all this, to maybe shift gears to make yourself successful?
A few things come to mind. The first is will sound oxymoronic, and for a business. And what I would say is give some of what you know away to those that need it. So we had clients that were decimated. Those that were particularly in the hospitality and retail industries, certain kinds of brick and mortar retail. I mean, restaurants, it was not a pretty year, right? And so they needed to lay off, for some of our clients, hundreds and hundreds of people, because they were multi-site venues, and they couldn't afford to pay the bill to Humoriso for that. But they needed our help. Do it.
Giving equals growth is my motto for this year, and should be every year.
It's I had people say to me, well, how down was your revenue? Our revenue was down 30 to 35% at some points. I didn't lay a person off. And I'm not saying that because I'm awesome. I'm saying that because it still worked out. I think that you have to test the waters of kindness and recognize that there's going to be return on it.
Yeah.
And your people are going to respond. No, not one staff member of Human Resource was like, hey, I know these people aren't paying. You want me to dial it down? I won't be a support. No, you answer every call. It's okay. Wow. I love that you want to love us and make sure we're okay. I get that and love that. You're good. Carry on. So I would say first, be thoughtful, right? That goes a long way. Secondly, I'd say from a pivot standpoint, we did a lot of, we always do a lot of content. I mean, our blog is raring and people are forever taking material and going, and that's great. We ramped up, we doubled down on content. And so we put even more out there, give people more opportunities to be thoughtful about their business, asking good questions in the midst of the content, helping people to sit and say, look, you can't afford an executive coach right now. You can't afford to have an OD expert come in right now. But let me give you some questions to start thinking through and allow people then to connect with us, which they did and said, look, we've got some budget here for this. I like what you said here. I like the stuff that Human Resource. I love the interview that I saw BJ do, or I called in and got a great answer from Rick, and like now I want more. I think that you've got to give people this year, especially when they needed to be thoughtful about budgets, give them a taste of what they could get. Don't be, so keep your chips in front of you. The other thing, and the last thing I would mention is define well what it means to perform. We function in 5 different veins of support and service as Human Resource. One of those veins being recruitment. Define well what that means. Right? What kinds of things? Don't take things that you don't want to do. We do recruitment, for example. We're not a staffing agency. Did I get calls from people who were asking us to sort of take on that staffing agency-esque type stuff? Yes. Could I have taken that business? Yes. I don't want it. Not because you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not who Human Resource is. I did not want to make decisions rash. I could pivot, but to what end, right? I wanted to make sure my resources were true to who we are, what we were established to be, and why, and not just take anything on because I feel desperate. That's the wrong way to do business.
So true.
Love it.
I mean, that's good stuff. John, your playbook is almost mimic of what I believe in, man. It's all about loving and caring people, man. And that's good stuff.
And I don't know how to do it differently. Look, I have been on the receiving end, especially in human resources, right? Like, let me snap up a little on that one. Like in human resources, people will take advantage of HR pretty quickly. We're one of the first departments to be cut when there's budgetary issues. I've lived it and been through it, and I've worked with some wonderful people through the years, but I've worked with some absolute terrible people, monsters of people through the years. And kindness wins. I don't care what anybody says. Kindness wins in the end. And so I'd rather lay my head on my pillow at night and feel good about the efforts I put forward rather than whatever temporary win that day may give you. That's how I feel.
I love it.
Man, so true. I love it.
All right. So I know you're going to want to shift because we're hitting the 20-some-minute mark. I know you're going to want to shift to the holiday stuff. So take it away,
Here
sir.
we go. This is the fun part, John. Okay.
Okay.
Favorite cartoon, holiday cartoon.
So I'm old, right? So I'm a claymation guy. So I'm The Year Without Santa Claus is a good one for me. The Heat Miser, Freeze Miser kind of thing. That's mine.
Love it. Mine's Frosty. And KG, what's yours again?
I didn't have one because I don't know that.
She doesn't follow Christmas that much.
so I get okay.
I will send you links.
I'm going to redeem myself. I mean, obviously, growing up, I saw all of those movies and things. I'm sure I've seen parts of It's a Wonderful Life, but I don't think I've ever seen the entire movie.
It's a long movie. Yeah.
But he said cartoon. So like if you ask me what my favorite holiday movie is, I'm going to say something like The Preacher's Wife. Because when I think about the holiday that I celebrate, like I told these guys yesterday, like I'm not into all the like jingle bells and mommy's kissing Santa Claus and all that. Like, I'll do the religious like Christmas songs because I can feel that. So yeah, so I would say Preacher's Wife, and I do like Home Alone. But again, that was more like a comedy. That was more like a comedy,
National Lampoon's Vacation. Come on, you gotta love Clark Griswold.
Oh yes, I do like Clark. I do like Clark Griswold. And I watched Jingle Jangle on Netflix.
Oh,
that was beautiful. It was a beautiful movie. Like it was beautiful. So okay, I'm not 100% hate, double hate, loathe entirely, but I am. And so if I know that, I pay attention.
You're a mean one, Mrs. Grinch.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened at the end of that movie?
Oh,
his heart grew 3 times as big. Is that what you? Yes.
Wow. So by the 12th show, you'll be growing big time.
Huge heart.
First of all, my heart's already huge. So
huge. That is true. That is true.
All right. Next question.
John, the next one. Your favorite toy for the holidays. Which toy stands out? It was like the ultimate toy you got as a child.
Okay, so this is actually interesting and will be a funny segue. So I'm a Star Wars kid, and I got in 1977, it must have been the 3-story Death Star play set for all your action figures and stuff. I still have it.
Whoa!
And along with my Star Wars stuff, and actually this season, my kids and I were going to be selling online all of my Star Wars stuff.
You're going to sell it?
I got 2 in college and 1 who will start college this fall. So I've been saving it all these years for whatever we get for each individual, and I have like 80 action figures with their weapons, and I mean, like, it's going to be a big deal. But those obviously were my favorite. I mean, I've kept them all these years.
Oh my God! You remember the C-3PO carrying case? I had that one.
The C-3PO case and the Darth Vader case. I have them both full of my action figures.
So anybody that wants Star Wars stuff, just keep in tabs with John. He's got your Christmas gift.
I'm your guy.
I might buy some.
It's so.
No. I mean, I know folks who love. No. I know folks who love Star Wars.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And John, you have all originals, right? These are the originals.
Originals. Yep.
Oh yeah. Wow. Man, that's making me sweat. I might have to put a little bit in here. I might have to get a couple more recruitment.
The Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Luke Skywalker with the double telescope lightsaber that comes up through the arm. I mean, these are all like what people look for. Yeah, I got them.
Wow, nice. Oh yeah, you are very rich.
Show me the money.
Yes, you're very rich.
All right, here we go. The next one, John. What's your favorite holiday dish?
So I'm Italian in heritage, and so for my family, Christmas Eve is a big deal. So the
7 fishes. Yes.
Yes.
So that is my favorite meal, right? So for all of the seafood and the fish. So old school Italian is, bacala and schmelz and these fish that no one wants to eat anymore because most of the people, quite frankly, that used to make them, they've all died, right? All of the older women in my family, this is what they did for generations. And so love my mom and my aunts, but nobody's making that stuff anymore, right? So we sort of have the souped up, some fish, some other kinds of seafood, 7 fishes, but that meal is killer. So good.
So on that vein, because you mentioned your Italian heritage, and we're both from Jersey. Well, you're not from Jersey, but South Jersey is basically Philly extended. South Jersey is East Philly. So for the New Jersey people, sauce or gravy?
Oh, gravy. Gravy.
Okay.
Gravy.
There you go.
And
all right.
I make homemade gravy, which is.
And do you all make a pawn in your mashed potatoes? Do you make a pawn for your gravy?
That's brown gravy. That's not what we're talking about.
Sorry. What happens when you're from Pittsburgh? You don't have that kind of stuff.
I mean, so many names are in my head. I can hear my grandparents calling you. So I'm glad they're not. So, yeah.
You never know what's going to happen on here.
Gravy is tomato sauce, red sauce that some
Yes.
people may call it, like for pastas, macaroni, spaghettis.
Oh.
We call it gravy.
Yes.
Not on this side. Gravy's the biggie heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. All right. What was the next? Cookie. What's
Cookies.
your favorite Christmas, or excuse me, holiday cookie?
So my mom makes two cookies. One, my mom makes a mint cookie where she basically cooks an Andes candy mint in the center, and it's like all wrapped with this delicious cookie, and it's fabulous. And then again, the Italian heritage, so pizzelles that's so good.
Wow, you got me hungry. Okay, John, here's one. Fruitcake, yay or nay?
Nay. No.
Nobody's ever gonna like that. Now, have you ever had relatives bring it every year and it's like it sits there?
No, because my family, they love each other, so no one would ever.
That's hilarious. Like, seriously, fruitcake is the candy corn dessert of like it's like
yes, gross.
Just eat wax. Like seriously, like just stop.
I mean, who buys it? I mean, it's at the stores all the time. Who eats this stuff?
And you could pack it up with your Christmas ornaments and stuff and take it right out next year. Won't miss a beat. It lasts forever. Gross.
Food does not last forever, so there's a problem.
That's right.
That's a problem. Okay, favorite
last
drink.
Yeah, favorite drink.
So a Negroni is my favorite cocktail, right? So I'll have that, but I'll do with an old fashioned. Sometimes depends on where I'm at. Sometimes the bartenders are hesitant about a Negroni, so I'll let them get by with an old fashioned as a part two. I'm usually a brown liquor kind of guy. Bourbon's my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So what's your favorite bourbon?
So I have to say Maker's Mark because I am a Maker's Mark ambassador, and
wow, look at that!
Very fancy.
How about that?
You're like Fletch, John. You're like Fletch. You got all kind of trades.
Yeah. So we've learned some things today. We learned a lot about business and pivoting and having an open hand, giving, ready to receive. Learned a lot about that, and now we've got some great food choices, and now we know what to drink. Like,
I mean, this is a complete cycle with John. We got everything here, all 12 days wrapped up in one, right?
All in one, yes.
You don't get to be the 2020 HR Consultant of the Year for nothing, you know?
I know. Once again, I'm going to give you. Hey, that doesn't come easy, man. You know what? You deserve it, buddy. And I'm part of your network now, the Star Wars network, right? So
absolutely.
We almost got through an entire show without him stealing my friend.
John, you know that.
Never.
Every time we have to win the show,
that's usually no. Like as soon as we get on the air, the first thing he says is, "You're part of my family now. I love you." Like
you're like, come on. But I mean that too.
Oh, I know you do, because then you guys have like conversations without me, and how's that?
Never. You're always included in the love.
Yeah. So day 2, fantastic. I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle these level ups every day. I'm not the most, I don't do the emoting thing. That's kind of weird. But yesterday was awesome. Today was awesome. Like tomorrow we have Wendy Daly coming on, so very excited. And then we're closing out the week with on Thursday with another New Jersey Cherry Hill East finest. I'll leave that. Yeah.
And then all weekend I'll be at Toys for Tots.
Yes, Toys for Tots.
10,000 toys.
And he will be broadcasting live. So if you guys want to shout out Rich while he is serving our communities here.
And let's not forget on Saturdays, Wreaths Across America, where we go to national cemeteries and put wreaths on the graves of our lost ones. So that's a big day.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. The whole country, man. I love it. So I'll be there for that too.
All right. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in to day 2. What is
I'm
that?
eating a sugar cookie, y'all.
Oh, what is that? I thought that was a communion. I thought it was a sacrament. I was like, what is that?
After time with me, he needs communion. That sounds about right.
I've got the wine and he's got the wafer. Like, what's happening?
Hey, happy holidays. We'll see you tomorrow. Hey, thanks again, John, for everything.
Thank you.